What's up, Mindful Reality family? It's your boy Mark, and I have some things to get off my chest. I'm very disappointed in the last few seasons of Big Brother, particularly season 24, season 25, and season 26, which is just starting. And I know that, there's been other seasons where it has started slow and it has picked all the way up. And to some degree, I believe that this season is going to pick up, not because I have so much faith in this season, but because there's only so long that you can do things to please a general group. Because right now it's been very easy for everybody to be like, all right, these are our three targets. Tucker keeps volunteering. Angela has caused so much strife in the house. And Kenny keeps saying, put me up because I want to go home. So I fully get that people are going to make the easy moves that don't put any blood on their hands. Maybe because I've listened to so many podcasts, I'm going to tell you specifically, if y'all don't listen to Tiffany Mitchell's podcast, Tiffany Mitchell is like a Big Brother genius. The only reason that she didn't win Big Brother was because of the fact that she couldn't, I hate to use this word, but she couldn't tone herself down enough. And I'm not saying that in a sense of tone down her blackness or tone down her loudness. It's just that she let everybody know that she was so good at the game. So it was inevitable that when they got down to the cookouts, that unless one of the ladies won, or unless she had been able to smooge, what's his name, Kyland enough, she was going to be the first out of that group to go, and she was. So that was the last season I remember there being any kind of significant strategy, and that strategy was genius. Hate it, like it, or love it. It was a genius strategy. Now we got into season 25. I'm not going to say that it was the best strategic gameplay, but I am going to say it did keep us on our toes. Because I remember there was this big alliance, the girls alliance, as a matter of fact, which included everybody except for Brittany and who else? Taylor. Everybody was in that alliance except for Brittany and Taylor, and they seemed to be pretty unified, and they seemed to be like in control. And then all of a sudden, hey, the leftovers are formed. And then the leftovers pull off this epic blindside of Amira that nobody saw coming. And then they start knocking off this majority girls alliance one by one. And then we get an outcome that was totally unexpected to us anyways, which was Taylor and Monte being in the final two seats because it looked like they were both crashing out at one point. So we had drama. We had, things that we didn't expect. I think that we even had some twists in there. Maybe they weren't so heavy on the twists, but I think we had a couple of twists in there. But the point is, I didn't go in week by week watching everybody have these same conversations. I have to salute these vloggers for Big Brother that make the content, even though they know there's nothing of significance to talk about. Because the thing is, and I understand why they do that, to tell you the truth. Because if I'm a channel with 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, even 10,000 subscribers, and I know that when I say significant, I don't mean like they're necessarily making 5,000 a month for most of them. But I'm saying, let's say that I make $1,000 every single month off of covering Big Brother content. I probably am going to force content as well. But I'm not even going to name them because people are going to think I'm trying to play these people. But I watched about 3 different streams about Big Brother today. And they, between the three of them, there was barely any information in those three streams. Like it was just a little bit of fluff that they were putting in there to make sure that they have a content to put up for the day. And part of the reason you have seen me there less is because of my job, but and because of my job demands. But another part is it hasn't captured my interest enough to the point where I can like feel so invested into this that I'm like, I gotta get up and check the feeds. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we gotta get Leah away from Cam. Cam's my boy, so Leah has to be the backup option. But then, clearly we can just put Kenya and Angela up again if Leah goes out, and we're good. So we still have group majority targets, and the only way that changes is if like Leah, Angela, or Kenny happen to win an HOH. And it's like a rock and a hard place because I don't want them to win an HOH. Well, I wouldn't mind Kenny winning an HOH or Leah, but it's just like it's I'm rooting for the most dramatic scenarios, and the most dramatic scenarios are the least likely things. Hi, Edward. I'm listening. Oh, you're at another. Wait, that's a conflict of interest. Chocolate. You have two jobs, and you have the audacity to come here and say that you have duties at the other job. I am ashamed. I am appalled. Good afternoon, Mark and chat. I've not given away any disciplinary warnings so far this season, but you might be putting yourself in place for the first. I don't know yet. Depends on my mood. Good afternoon, Ed. When I see your post about, I know, when I found out that the nominations were the same, I mean, people have said, Kenny said he wants to go home, put me on the block. Turner said, Tucker said, oh, I'll volunteer to go up again. And then Angela, I think, is the one person who didn't say put me up, but they're like, she's already been up. There's no blood on her hands. She's caused so much commotion in the house, so nobody's going to be mad at her sitting up there again. And they're kind of like saying the same thing they said before, where it's like, we're not mad if Angela goes home, but she's also not our primary target right now. But it seems like this list of three that they have, I'm not sure about Tucker, but I know that with Kenny and Angela, it's always like, if none of those three wins the veto, or if none of those three gets taken off and it stays the same, then they will pick between Kenny and Angela, and it seems like Kenny would be the edge to go home. But in my opinion, I'm such a thinker, man. Like, in my opinion, I would rather Kenny and Angela stay, because Kenny doesn't have a lot of numbers and Angela doesn't have a lot of numbers. So why not keep the floaters who are being iced out of all the groups and then get rid of them? Like, you could do the same kind. I hate to say this, but you could kind of follow the Jag blueprint, where you're like, we can just let these people get to like at least jury, let them get to jury, because we know that once there's 5 of us there and 2 of them, unless they happen to just win out, which it doesn't seem like this season is one of those win outs type of seasons, we could just get them out then. They're not like comp beasts or anything. They're not going to win everything. I mean, I think of the law of averages and statistics. Like, yes, it's possible. But even with Michael, do you remember Michael on BB24 when he was just dominating the competitions? He just became this massive comp beast. HOH veto. And I still remember Monty talking to the others in the house. And then he was like, all it takes is for him to lose once. And that's all it took. He lost one time. They executed. He was out of there. He was up out of there. Where are we here? Where are we here? What's next? Hey, how you doing? She just robbing the clock right now. That's what she's doing. Have you heard the expression "scared money"? Exactly. Make moves, man. This is not like I hate this new thing that they do where they're like, I have to do what's in the best interest of the house so they don't target me. And I said this last time. I understand, trust me, because with the way that these people are in this modern game, with the way they are in this modern game, that probably would happen if they were like, you know what, you should put up Kenny, Angela, and Tucker because that's what everybody agreed on. And let's say that he was like, you know what, I want this is just a random, just like a random name. But let's just say he said, I want MJ on there because I want to flush out this MJ thing. And in fact, I feel like they should. I feel like somebody should be like, okay, Quinn and Angela, Quinn and MJ have these powers. So here's an idea. Let's put Quinn and MJ on the block next to each other, front door. Tell them, like, hey, I know that, I appreciate you telling me that you have this advantage, but the thing about it is, we don't have advantages. So I don't want to be the person who becomes HOH and then you're able to make my selection for me, or I don't want to be the person who is trying to put somebody out of the house and then all of a sudden the person that I'm targeting, you decide to just put the chain on them and then they don't have to leave the house. You know what I mean? Like that's what they do in Survivor. They flush out idols. So it's almost like feeling like we already did 2 weeks. So there's only 2 more weeks for these things to be used. So do we really think that Mackenzie's going to use it this week and then Quinn's going to use his next week? I think Quinn's going to be more likely to use his than MJ is going to be to use hers, because MJ, I almost feel like she would at this point only use her thing if she was on the block. And they are not putting her on the block for some weird reason. By the way, for anyone who's not familiar with my lives, I'm glad that I've had mods on here for 3 years to get my sense of humor, because if not for that, somebody just jumping in and listening and be like, yo, why is he going in on that mod? Chocolate is one of my first mods and my best mods. So I'm just messing around about the conflict of interest and everything. Everybody has lives that they deal with outside of this channel. So I appreciate whatever time that they can take to assist, to help make things run for me. I really appreciate it. Essentially, though, we all work for free. You might not think that I work for free, but I work for free. You know why? I pay my StreamYard tab every month. I pay for my Canva app when I don't use it enough, but it's my app where I make my thumbnails. You know, between those things, we're already talking about $45. I get my little membership subscriptions, which is a little bit's better than nothing, but yeah, this is not paying me anything. I just do this because I enjoy it. I would like to figure out ways to make things more profitable for me, and there probably are ways that I could figure out, but it's going to require me to, I think, just dedicate more time. And because I don't have so much time on weekdays, it would probably require me to develop a game plan outside of here. I mean, on weekends, because I do usually have more time on the weekends. My weekends are packed too, quite frankly, but they're just less packed. My weekdays are intense because of my job. That's neither here nor there. The gameplay era. When I said the gameplay era is over, nobody holds their cards to the vest anymore. There used to be a time Someone got a secret power, secret information, they could hold water. The only time I can really understand giving up your secret power for free and just being like, oh, I want you to trust me, so I'm letting you know that I have the secret power. The only time I can see that being a good strategy is if you're on the block or something and you have read the house and it's looking like people are just going to vote you out. So at this point in time, you're like, okay, maybe a more tactful version of the Michael Brittany thing, because that was wild. I don't think I would do it like that, but I would definitely figure out some things to say. And if I had information to use that I was holding, because it's true, information is power. It's like what Jeff says on Survivor, when Jeff is like, oh, trust is the ultimate currency in the game. It is. On Survivor, when people trust you, you are a powerful player. So sometimes in Survivor, like when they get an idol, what they end up doing is that they'll tell the tribe, hey, just letting y'all know I found an idol. This is what it does. It serves multiple purposes for them to do that. Telling them about the idol is like now everybody doesn't have to be paranoid about whether they have an idol or not. Also, telling them about the idol is like, hey, if y'all decide that you want to get froggy and throw me into and vote me out, I'm gonna have the idol, so you're gonna have to think of plan B. And that doesn't that's some it's a kind of it could be a bluff. Sometimes they have the idols and sometimes they don't. But yeah, this group talks too much. They talk too much, they use too much groupthink. I hate to keep saying this, but I think groupthink is a generational thing. Because in my era that I grew up in, I mean, there was groupthink. There's groupthink in every single era. But look, we wake up, it's like, oh, what's the latest trend? You know, like, what's the thing that we have to do because everybody else is doing? What is everybody wearing today? What is it? So these sub conversations, the reason they don't interest me, because other people are interested in the conversations. Oh, here's the order. We get out Angela, we get out Kenny, maybe we get out Tucker, because Tucker could be dangerous. Let me throw Cam's name out there because Cam could be a physical threat near the end. And I'm like, all talk, no action. I'm a man of action, right? So people have come to me with different ideas of things that they want to do with me. Hey, Mark, I came up with this business idea. This is the idea. We could do this and this, and you do this and I do that. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. Here's what I need from you, though: dates that you're available, times that you're able to get this done, how much you want me to commit to it per week, and how much you want you to commit to it per week, and a deadline of when this is supposed to be finished. And then we get to work. Usually, when I say those things, that's the end of the conversation. They don't have any of that to provide. They just hope that they could tell me this is what I want to do, and maybe I would press for all those things. But I'm like, this is your idea, so no, I'm not doing all that. So we have a group of people who talks about, oh, we should get this one out. Oh, this person's a big threat. We should worry about them down the line. We should worry about them down the line. And it's like, you don't always have to worry about them down the line. Sometimes you just take the shot and get them out now. Oh, Tucker's on the block. Like, I'll be mad. I know that y'all might say you just don't like Tucker. Screw that. Take out the part about me liking Tucker, not liking Tucker, right? Tucker is a great physical player, and he's a great mental player. He has just he's just demonstrated that. He's been dominating all these different conversations. He's been very influential in the house. He just crushed a puzzle. I think that he would be pretty good in anything physical. I'm not going to say cop beast, but he's good at cops. This is clear. So I'll be upset unless he happens to win the AI arena again. Then it is what it is. If he wins the AI arena twice, what can you do? But if he's sitting up there again and he's sitting next to Angela, listen, for personal reasons, I don't like Angela, and I would like Angela to go. For game reasons, the only reason that Angela would be a danger to myself is if Angela wins HOH. And again, which is, it's always a possibility, but based on her performance and most things that they've done so far, she has been horrible. And I do not think that she's throwing. I just think that she's really bad. That's my personal take on that. So, let's see what we got. I agree today that Big Brother has way less of a backbone. They need to do a season of like OGs versus this generation. They do. Where they have teams. I mean, you can still do the thing first and second place and all that. And maybe like the teams only exist until you get to jury, and then whoever's left is like every man and woman for themselves. But I would love to see a season of like legends versus rookies. I would love that. I feel like the legends would just they might not be the top people with the competitions, but I think they would do much better with the politics aspects of it. Much better. What things aren't in your favor? Hi, Cass. This is definitely a weak cast. I agree, Tiny. So far, I mean, I'm not gonna call them a top 3 weakest cast in week, what, 3? We're going into week 3. I can't say that just yet, but from what they've shown thus far, they have not been a strong cast. Rubina, yeah, Rubina's kind of laying low. She's actually not in a bad spot, I would say. Rubina's kind of laying low. I kind of like Rubina. The challenge battle, I don't even know how the challenge battle of the eras is not rookies. They're all from some era, even if they have only competed in like 2 or 3 seasons. It's more like an all-stars than it is a rookies versus vets. The way it's going, I agree with you. I mean, I can see that, like, from where we are currently, I can see that. But... Good afternoon, Pauline. See, if I hadn't, this is the funny thing, if I hadn't stayed on this long, y'all still would have missed it. Because the only time that I can even like pre-announce in a timely fashion that I'm doing some kind of live is if it happens to be after an episode, because then I know my schedule ahead of time. I know that I'm doing the live around the episode, so I can actually put up there 6, 8 hours, 10 hours in advance. Like, I'm going to be doing this live at this time. But aside from that, nothing I can do. You mean the notification in YouTube or in Discord? Because I put it in Discord. As far as YouTube giving me notifications, there is literally nothing I can do about that. YouTube doesn't like me. I did a really highly viewed video yesterday on my other channel, and then I went to go look at it, And I'm like, where's the post? I'm like, I had all this engagement. I had all these new people on there. YouTube just played me. Like, they just didn't post the video. Like, that was wild to me. Um, Give me 30 minutes. Unless you mean the notification, like putting it up on YouTube, because I just finished doing something and I just threw it on because I might have 30 minutes to do the live, and yeah, I won't have 30 minutes in advance. I have all your notifications on YouTube. That's somebody actually told me that they thought that I stopped doing the channel. YouTube turned off notifications and unsubscribed them from my channel. It was Ebony. If some of y'all remember Ebony did like a couple of lives with me. Ebony did a few lives with me last season towards the end of the season. And then she had to travel, so she wasn't able to do anymore. But I hadn't seen her on in a while. So I'm like, long time no see. And she was like, yeah, I thought that you were, excuse me, I thought that you were no longer doing this. I don't know what I did to anger YouTube, but YouTube is not feeling me, and I'm not feeling them. Me and YouTube are in a toxic relationship. Call it Monte. All right. Yeah, but his pre-scheduled live. Yeah, I do that. When I pre-schedule lives, they're usually, like I said, they're usually based around when an episode comes on. Like when they have an episode, I'll pre-schedule it. But these ones, I had no plan to do this beforehand. I just was like, you know what? This came to my head right now, so let's make it a video. You know, you can blame somebody that one of my friends who is a content creator, who told me, because I said to him, I'm finding a harder and harder time, even finding time to create lives, because by the time I sit down in my house at the end of the day, I'm tired and I'm burned out. So I'm like, I don't even know when I'm gonna have the time to continue a YouTube channel. And he said, Mark, all those things that you do within a day, they're all content. So he was like, you just got to get in the habit of making the content on the go. So it's like a rock and a hard place in a sense, because it allows me to do the content throughout the day, but I do the content in pockets. Like if it was on the week and I have 8 people to see for my job, I go to the house. I have no idea how long that visit is, and based on how long that is and how much time I have to get to the next one, I finish the visit. I might throw it on right then and there, because I look on the GPS and it takes me 25 minutes to get to the next house. So there's not 30 minutes to say in advance, like. And what I was doing before, if nobody remembers, I was doing the YouTube notifications. There y'all were to be on each one of them and be like, you're late. So there's a thing called under promise and over deliver. Because I would rather people be mad that they don't see it than for them to be mad that I said I was going to do it at this time and I was not able to produce that. That's how I am. Yeah. please leave this live up. I hope YouTube keeps it up because YouTube took down a very good live that I had done on Friday. Lisa was the only one from here on there, I think. And I had a great conversation on that live. It wasn't on this channel though. It was on Music and Mental Health. But it was a great live. And I went back to look at it. YouTube didn't post it, but I have the picture because I was like, let me just take a picture and so that I know I have some proof of what these numbers are, because people are telling me that the numbers that they see are different than the numbers I'm seeing. Like people will be like, oh, I see 3 people. And I'm like, how do you see 3 when I'm seeing 17? What is that? I'm on the naughty list. I'm on the naughty list for YouTube. Sucks. But I just keep going anyways because last year my engagement numbers were terrible until about week 5 or 6. I don't know what changed, but I started going from 20, 30 views to all of a sudden 200, 300, 2,000, 3,000. So, but I said this on my community post. I have no idea how much longer that I'm going to be doing this YouTube stuff. I know I said this last year. Last year, I had some reasons to feel like I am going to stay and continue. This year, I have less of those reasons, partially because of my new schedule, but also partially just because of lower results. I'm transparent about that. The engagement rates are much less than they have been. I'm sure part of that is just because the show has not been as popping as it has been in the past couple of years, because I know that I got a boost. I got a boost from certain seasons, from certain twists and things that were going on that popped it off. But then again, who's to say that once these people have to turn on each other and they don't have the veil of I want to do what's best for the house to hide behind anymore, that something's not going to happen to ruffle somebody's feathers who originally was like, oh, I never thought that this person would turn on me. Because right now, what we have is we have like alliances, but then we have people who are loosely attached to certain alliances. Like T-Core is not within Triple C, but she feels like as a black woman, I want to look out for y'all, and I hope that you do the same for me in return. So are they ever going to get to a point where their alliance, the Pentagon, where they have to choose between like the Pentagon and T-Core? Those are the kind of decisions that I want to see, where it's like, do I stick to the alliance that I had early on, or do I prioritize? Does it get to a point where I'm like, the Pentagon, the extra 2 on the Pentagon were insulation, so they can go. Like, you never know how those things are going to go. So when we get down to the nitty gritty, that's a Nelsonism for those who don't watch the challenge. When we get down to the nitty gritty, that's when we'll really see friendships, when friendships get tested and people are in the house a longer time and they get bonded a little bit more. But the groupthink thing, the thing that they did where they were like, anyone who didn't vote for Matt is a target, I didn't like that. Where we at? Member for 10 months. That's what's up. Thank you, Ma. Appreciate the membership. Shout out to my girl. Hold on. Shout out to my girl Colleen who warns us. So my message in the chat was not a warning. I see. You see why I don't concede to any of the demands, because there's no winning, unfortunately. You were definitely told, and I'm gonna put it up after this and pin it. Then what are you gonna do? All right. Yeah, they're putting lies in the chat at this point. Yeah, so anyways, as far as what's going on in the house, like I'm not invested. You all already know that. I hate to keep saying that every week, but I'm not invested. I loosely keep track through some people who say things in Discord. Tasha, I have to shout out Tasha because Tasha will constantly update us on what's happening. She'll give us like the video clips that they have, so in that regard, I kind of am somewhat able to keep up with some of the stuff that's happening, but honestly, I'm used to, for the past 2 years, living on those feeds. I'm used to living on those feeds. So now I'll turn on the feeds and then they're sitting around outside on the bean bags or whatever, and they're just talking about nothing. And then the game conversations, yeah, they are talking about games and things that they potentially want to do, but it's like, who's going to do them? Because now the collective just had 2 people in a row from the collective win HOH back to back. Okay, so it's like that would almost be like the cookout season. Xavier and Kyland win back to back, or Xavier and Tiffany, or I mean, there was only 4 people basically winning out of the 6, so there's not too many combinations. But let's say like Hannah, hypothetically, like Hannah and Kyland, they win back to back, right? So it's like you 2 from the same alliance have a chance to knock some people out of the game, and instead you're like, I don't want to ruffle feathers. So now you're still there. All your group is still there. Yes, it benefits you that all your group is still there. But at the same time, y'all haven't made a power move here. Like you knocked out the easy choices that everybody wants out. So who's to say that next time around, like an Angela gets up there and is like, you know what? I want to put up Chelsea, and I want to put up Cedric, because you know what? They put me up. And then I want to put up T-Core. I know some people are going to say she would never want to do that because of the logistics of what happened, but you never know what people can do. You can't tell her that she can't do it. I mean, people can advise her. What does it say? Sometimes Mark checks out podcasts on YouTube. Ma, you really have a lot of supporters here. Because one, they come on my channel when you do your lives at the same time as me, after warnings, and then they let me know they're splitting. They're like, I'm here and I'm there, and I'm like, okay. I didn't get a notification for that, but I know that Ma appreciates that. Does it make the most sense? No, but thank you regardless. Now, I was listening to Big Brother Boy earlier, and he was saying that people are talking about MJ being a terrible game player. She might be. I mean, you never know at this stage of the game, but I tend to feel that I can't believe I'm near what year? Who's the longest person who's been here? I don't know. I guess maybe I could probably check in my memberships, but Thus far, you are the winner, Edward. I don't know who's been the longest out of my members, but I appreciate y'all who are still members because the Big Brother season is only 3 months out of the year. So there's a whole 9 months that even though I talk about reality TV, most of you are predominantly here for Big Brother. So it's like I have an appreciation for staying on here for 3/4 of the year just to support me. Debbie. Oh, does it say 10 months? Hold on. It does. 10 months and 9 months. On your birthday, 10 months. My birthday was 10 months ago. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Wow. Actually, my birthday is in less than 2 months from now. That's crazy. Time just goes. I had to actually pull out the jag fingers and count on my hands. That's amazing. That is amazing that much time has gone by. I'm going to be another year dustier. I want to do something different for my birthday this year in terms of YouTube, but I'll have to figure out if I can get people to participate for that. Right now, I have a couple of people that I'm trying to get in the works for me to jump on my channel, but so many of these people have broken their promises that at this point in time, I don't promise that they are going to get on my channel until I know I have a date and time locked in. And even sometimes with that, I still kind of play it by ear because I'm like, I'd rather do the video and record it and then be like the video is already done. I don't mind doing live videos, but there's two things that make it difficult. Yeah, I mean, I explained that. I've been not reading these comments, but since y'all want me to, because you keep putting them on there, I explained that. I'm in the middle of multiple different things. So when I finished one, I was like, oh, I have a little pocket of time to do this. So there wasn't the 30 minutes of notification would have led to probably a much shorter video, which I don't think that the majority of you would have preferred. You still didn't what? October 2, 1987. A little in Canada was a little Mark was born. I only look now because it wasn't there when I was on earlier. I put the other one on there because of you. That's the funniest part of what you're saying right now. The second one was there because of you saying something about the first one. Because get the razor cast and say goodbye to them eyebrows. I see it going down that road. Them eyebrows. What are you talking about? Inside joke? Did I miss something? What's happening with the eyebrows? Yeah, but what I was saying about MJ, I don't think her position in the game is terribly bad because everyone is scared of this power that she has. So that means that for 4 weeks, it seems like, because they're all scared to play the game, it seems like they're going to knock off other people for 4 weeks. So she has, unless Leah becomes one of those people, because if they actually do end up backdooring Leah, I think that MJ is going to be one of the people that it impacts the most, to be honest with you, because I feel like they're buddying up with MJ just because they know that she has that power. I don't really think that she's in any kind of like power alliances. In the future, there would be a Big Brother network on Paramount Plus where you have a daily show, where you have a daily BB show with interviews with the past BB players, and Ma has a late night podcast. So that would be cool. But frankly, I say this all the time. CBS doesn't want me to do that. Now, I don't say this based on direct conversations that I've had with CBS, but I say that based on several CBS show participants, whether that be Survivor, Challenge USA, and Big Brother, who I'm like, hey, I would love to get an interview. And then they provide me with the information of like a CBS producer, and then they give me what I'm supposed to say. I give them a professional outline. My name is Mark. This is the page that I have. These are the people that I've interviewed in the past. This is the gist of what my page represents. These are the questions. I even write out questions. Like, you know how annoying it is to do all of that. It's like you're applying for a job and they don't even respond. And only one CBS cast has had the balls. I hate to say it like that, but only one CBS cast has had the balls to actually tell me like they scrubbed your page, and they told me no. And just from that one person telling me that, it makes me feel like they scrubbed my page each and every one of those times. I even think an interview that I had that was canceled, and the person said that they had to work a double shift, and that's why it was canceled. At first, I was like, oh, this person seems like a pretty straight shooter. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't say thanks because I was just answering you. I was just like in the process of just going off on my answer. But yeah, to close that out, I think that CBS has said no to my channel a lot. The only two CBS people I had ever interviewed, well, I guess there's three of them. There's Alyssa, there's Turner, and there's Hannah. Hannah and Alyssa, I think, were already past their 2 years of exclusivity. Turner, I don't know. I think he just doesn't care, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. Ma, you rock. Ma, cast rules. Good on you, Edward. 11/11/63. 15 days until Dee's birthday. Another Modcast rules comment. Forget CBS. Zeus. I was talking to somebody. Actually, I won't even say somebody. I was talking to Kirsten from last season about Zeus Network. And yeah, I could see something happening like that on one of those networks. I don't like CBS. Even though I have shows that I watch on CBS, I just don't think that they don't do a lot. And even for those Big Brother contestants, I think they get a raw deal. I really do. I feel bad for some of them. Podcast is the best. Meet more people watching. You know what? How would you go about making your own network? Because I've thought about that. Not only have I thought about making my own network, I've thought about making my own version of a competition show. I have so many ideas for one. I have so many different ideas. Yeah, I agree. He needs to show up money. You need money effort. Yeah, thanks for the super chats, and thanks for the 2 super comments, I guess you would call them. Like the membership comments when you've been a member a certain number of months. Appreciate that, because that's dating back to last season, because last season ended in November. So both of y'all joined during last season. I like seeing the orange and the yellows in here. But yeah, I feel like honestly though, I feel like, oh yeah, milestone chats, thank you. I feel like CBS does a disservice to themselves because when we, the vloggers, talk about their show and interview their guests, it brings more attention to the show. Because I remember when I first started doing this, people were like, I can't catch up with everything. So sometimes I'll miss an episode, but then when I hear how you describe the episode, it will make me go check the episode, because now I want to be up on what you guys are talking about in the chat. So I'm like, it's mutually beneficial. It's beneficial to me because we can all congregate on my page to talk about the show, and it's going to increase my viewership. But it's also going to increase the people that are watching your show. So it's not just some one-sided thing. It's not some one-sided thing. What is this? Oh, if somebody can copy and paste that for me and DM me or throw it in the Discord or email me, whatever way you reach me. But if somebody can just like provide that link for me later, that would be greatly appreciated. And thank you, Edward, for putting that up. You know, my house idea though, because obviously I don't have a big budget, but there's this thing in New York called Peer Space. I don't know if it's exclusive to New York, but I know it's in New York. And you can actually rent out like a mansion. I used to see people renting out mansions on TV shows, like what's that show? Basketball Wives. I'm not a Basketball Wives fan, but I had like business reasons for why I watched 2 seasons of Basketball Wives. Those who follow me on my Mindful Reality and have a good memory, my members and have a good memory will know why I was watching Basketball Wives. But they were like, oh, we're going to just rent out this mansion for a few days. And I'm like, oh, wow, they're renting out a mansion. It's because the show has a big budget. No, you can actually, if I wanted to rent out a mansion for like 5 to 6 hours, I could do that right now. Because what happens a lot of times, it's not like before where if somebody has a mansion, they're going to live in it, or they're going to have tenants living in it, like a bunch of tenants or one tenant who's rich living in it. It's more like they own the mansion and now they rent it out for events. Like sometimes people will have rooftop parties. Sometimes people will do like regular parties, bridal shower. Like they'll just rent it out for a certain number of hours. So my idea was to kind of create a show that I could record in one day. The funding for the show, like the prize money and the funding for renting out the house or whatever place I happen to use for it, would be like fan funded, because I don't have the budget for that. I would have enough of a budget to rent the space, but in terms of giving them some kind of prize to do it, I would not have the money. I would not have a significant amount of money to do that. I have somebody in mind, like 1 or 2 people. I don't know if they would do it, but I have 1 or 2 people in mind that could host the show, because I've done networking and there's people that I would love to see in this hosting role. Throw them a little bit for that. And all the things that I don't like about these present TV shows as they are, I would create something that is different from those, that gives me a little bit of the old feel. I know there's rules and regulations behind things, so it's not going to be exactly like it was like the shows that I grew up on, but I have a lot of ideas. I definitely have a lot of ideas. Oh, you're working today? Working on a Saturday. I remember those days. Appreciate that, Edward. Later, my brother from another month. We just had a FDNY bus pass us. I have never seen like a fire department bus That's a first. I burped, chugged. I just Googled it. Oh, okay, so maybe I'll just Google it. You know, the funny thing is, I did my degree in business administration. I did classes on entrepreneurship. I wrote out a business plan for one of my classes. I know, I mean, I can't say that I've actively done that stuff. So if you told me, like, I need to do that right now, I believe that that would be a little on the difficult side for me because I don't have any active practice, but I could refresh those skills is the point that I'm trying to make. I want to host. I did not chug. I copied the link and put it in Discord. Thank you. I hear your turn signal. So, oh, I've been on here for 56 minutes. Wow. I'm going to try to make it an even hour. So I have about 3.5 minutes left. So if y'all have any final words, drop them in the comments. I'll read them. No, I don't. I wasn't. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess I'll throw in the final words. Thank y'all for joining me here. I appreciate it. This was kind of a freestyle topic. I mean, I'm telling you, I hope to get back to a point where there's enough things that pique my interest that I will get on here and be like, oh, this explosion happened between this one and this one. These two people got in this fight. This new group was formed and they're making big moves behind the scenes and they're going to pull off an epic blindside. Like, I hope that that happens at some point, but my hope for that is kind of low. My hope for that is kind of low at this moment, if I'm being totally honest with you. So, yeah, the math ain't mathing on the entertainment value for the season so far. But the challenge is coming up. I have to say that. On August 7th, which is Wednesday, they're going to have a challenge preview episode because I think that that episode is on at the same time as Big Brother. I'm thinking that I'm not going to get to see that preview episode until the next day, but I'm not prioritizing the challenge for a preview. I do have to make this note that on Wednesdays, when the challenge starts, which is August 14, I'm not going to be watching the August 14 Big Brother episode live. So I'm not going to be catching that one. I'll still be catching Sundays and Thursdays, but my schedule is going to be like Sunday and Thursday. I'm doing my Big Brother recaps after the episodes, and Wednesday I'm going to be doing my challenge recaps. I will, yeah, they're on at the same time. Yep, they're on at the same time. So, to eviction night. Eviction night is the one that you can always lock me in for because eviction night is to me the best and the most important night. In terms of like the episodes though, I think Wednesdays have been the most interesting episodes, but eviction night, I like when people get out of the house. Same, I can't miss my show. Oh, you're gonna be at Hershey Park. Hershey Park, right? Yeah, I hate when the shows air at the same time. All right. So, okay, wait, I missed my Diddy bopping comment, but I don't know if I know where that. I don't know if I know where that Diddy bopping thing is, if I can access it on my phone. If I win, One of y'all won't be diddy bopping. Is
Y'all
it
not
this?
smart. Y'all just liars who get lucky
You're
from time to
liars.
time. Relax. Don't give yourself so much credit. Liars who get lucky every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. All of that smart and genius and diabolical, all of that, absolutely not.
Nah, that's not the one. I wonder if I still have it on here. If I win, one of y'all won't be diddy bopping. That's one of my favorites. Anyways, I tried, y'all. They're doing the veto comp. And I'll talk to y'all later. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you.